Disrupting Japan, Episode 50. Welcome to Disrupting Japan, straight talk from Japan's most successful entrepreneurs. I'm Tim Romero, and thanks for listening. This is a milestone episode of Disrupting Japan. Hemingway only published 19 novels. Shakespeare only wrote 37 plays. Mozart only composed 41 symphonies, but as of today, Disrupting Japan has released 50 episodes. When I started this podcast, I never imagined that it would grow into what it is today. And I want to thank you for listening and for your support. And also to let you know that we have some big things planned in the near future as well. Before we get started with today's episode, however, I want to give you an update on the Crowdsourcing My Career project, where I asked you, the Disrupting Japan listeners, for advice on what I should do next in my career. I received 82 emails with ideas ranging from come and join my startup, to working for VCs or consulting firms, to some very interesting consulting ideas. Oh, and one multi-level marketing pitch. I still haven't fully decided on what I'm doing next, but I appreciate all the creative feedback, and I tried to be certain to answer all of the emails individually, except for the multi-level marketing guy. Screw that guy. Anyway, on with the show. Today we're going to be talking about poop. Yes, you heard me correctly. We'll be sitting down with Atsushi Nakanishi, CEO and maker of D-Free, an Internet of Things device that monitors your bowels and lets you know when you need to go to the bathroom. Wait, stop rolling your eyes. This is not a stupid application. This is not proof that there is way too much money being spent on startups. This is real. There are millions of people who, because of disability or disease, cannot regulate themselves, and a device like D-Free could be literally life-changing for them. Atsushi and his team are trying to build something genuinely new and have taken a rather unique path to get to where they are. In fact, as you'll hear in the interview, the team has really suffered and struggled for their goals. And in that spirit of seriousness, I'm going to try to get all the way through this episode without a single instance of scatological humor. But the longer I keep talking, the more difficult that's going to be. So let's get right to the interview. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
So I'm sitting here with Atsushi Nakanishi, CEO of W Japan and maker of D-Free.
Yeah.
So thanks for sitting down.
Yeah.
Before we get started, why don't you explain what D-Free is? Because it's a pretty amazing device.
Yeah. D-Free is a wearable device that lets you know when you need to go to the bathroom before you even realize it. The technology is based on ultrasound.
Before we get too far into it, you got to explain, because every time I've explained this company, this product to people, the first reaction they have is, this is the stupidest use for technology I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
So who really needs D-Free? Who needs to be told when they have to go to the bathroom?
There are a lot of users, like for incontinence and elderly people. We are getting huge inquiry to get D-Free all over the world. Mainly, they are caretakers or families who have dementia parents.
So they're caring for parents with dementia or who can no longer control themselves.
Yeah.
That is a huge number of people.
Yes.
So I guess people with like Crohn's disease.
Yes.
All kinds of people taking medication that lead to incontinence. It's a huge market.
And spinal damage.
Spinal
damage.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even though the first reaction is this is silly,
Yeah.
it's not. It's a huge market with a real need. So if I understand it correctly, D-Free, which is a device which we've got right here, but it's an audio podcast. It's about the size of a matchbox.
That's right.
And it's worn on the stomach of the user, and it uses ultrasound to see how things are moving through the bowels.
as well as changing size of bladder. So we predict urination as well.
Okay. How much warning does D-Free give?
Users can set the time. So
Okay.
like alarm.
So it can tell someone if they have 10 minutes more or 5 minutes more or really?
But the accuracy is changing.
So it's more accurate for shorter periods?
Yes,
Or-
yes.
okay. So how big is this market in Japan?
We focus on adult diaper market as a first.
Okay.
So in Japan, $1.8 billion.
The adult diaper market is 1.8 billion.
Yeah, yeah.
How does that translate into like the number of potential consumers?
Consumer is about 4 million people.
About 4 million in Japan.
in Japan. Yeah.
Okay, that's not a small market.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Excellent. I find this kind of technology coming out of Japan to be particularly interesting because the population of Europe and America, they'll be hitting the same type of aging profile in 10 years and 20 years that Japan is hitting right now. It's a great chance for Japan to come up with technology for elderly care. But let's back up a minute. The idea for D-Free started when you were studying in the U.S., right?
That's right.
University of California?
Yes, yes. Berkeley.
I heard the story before, but do you want to share it again? Because it's...
Yeah, okay, no problem. One day, when I moved to new apartment, doing that on the street, I pooped my pants.
Just because you didn't have time to get to a bathroom, or you ate something bad for lunch, or what?
Yeah, both. Both, yeah. Later, I ate a very hot ramen noodle with kimchi and a lot of chili.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah. Because the last night we had a kimchi hot pot party, and there were a lot of leftover hot chili and kimchi.
Okay.
So yeah, and I ate at lunch, and I got heavy diarrhea on the street.
And so you just thought that there had to be some way technology could solve this problem?
Yeah. So I wanted to know when my poop
was coming.
Yeah.
Again, it sounds like kind of a silly origin story.
Yes.
But realistically, this is not a simple goal. This is not something that you can get a couple of college students to put together a website for. This isn't something you can go out and buy parts on Alibaba and put together a prototype. There's real complicated technology involved. So once you got the idea, how did you put the team together?
I'm not an engineer. By chance, I met CTO. I asked, could you make prototype?
You met him at Berkeley as well?
He worked at the startup in San Francisco.
Okay. So at first it was just the two of you putting this together?
Yes.
How big is the team today?
Almost members are my friend, high school friend or university friend.
You know, it's interesting. I find that's fairly common among Japanese startups. In the U.S., it seems to be founders in their 20s, teams in their 20s. It's all people they met in college. Teams in their late 20s or 30s, it's almost always random people they met in other startups or in business. But in Japan, there's an awful lot of founders who pull together teams that they knew in high school. Why do you think that is?
In Japan, university program is not so busy. So a friend of university, one is work hard part-time.
So university students are not working together. They're doing part-time jobs and pursuing hobbies and things.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. But in high school days, we studied a lot and take a time. We spent a lot of time together.
Well, that makes sense. If high school is the time where you're working together to solve difficult problems.
Yes.
That's where you can find the teammates you'll trust.
Yes. That's
okay. Right. I first met you actually about 1 year ago.
Oh, really?
Okay. You were presenting at the Pioneers Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And you won, I believe.
Yes.
And you got a lot of attention after you first announced, not only because you're doing something new and unusual, but because journalists can't resist the opportunity to make poop jokes.
Yes.
But let's talk about what's happened in the last year. You know, what you've had to do to build this company and make D-Free a reality. This is a medical device. It's not a consumer social sharing app. So how do you go about testing something like this? Are trials expensive? Tell me about what's involved.
D-Free is not a medical device. It's a consumer goods, electronic device like a smartphone.
Okay, so this is not considered a medical device.
Yes,
Okay.
That's right. It's easier than medical device for trials. At first, we trial in our friends and our team members as well. It's a very hard trial.
Well, sure. I mean, like any startup, you have to convince your friends and everyone to start wearing this device and keeping track of...
have a drug, laxative.
Oh, wow, okay.
And wearing diapers and sleep 4 days, like that.
You must have some really good friends.
Yeah.
Sure. I think you owe people a lot of favors at this point. Holy cow.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So you've got your friends and family and staff member walking around taking laxatives and wearing diapers to test this.
Yes, that's right.
You've got some good friends, man. That's all I can say.
Okay. Yeah. Insert sausage from asshole, like that, and we detect sausage by ultrasound.
Holy cow. All right.
Explain.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, it's hardcore. Very, very hard one. And then,
okay.
As a result, we,
Okay, let's say that gets you to the equivalent of an MVP here. But at some stage, you've got to do some real clinical trials, right?
That's it.
So when do you move on to those?
We completed our prototype, and then we asked nursing homes in Japan. So luckily, by our exposure, many nursing home managers have interest in our product. And then they contacted us. So we bring our prototype D-Free to users.
This is really encouraging because whether it's startups or large companies trying to sell to hospitals and nursing homes, it is such a conservative, difficult industry. And the fact that they were so open to trying something new, I find really encouraging. Do you think it was because you're solving a really unique problem? Or do you think that Japan is changing and they're open to trying new things and new devices in general?
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah?
Yeah. This excretion care is very important problems. And aging population is super huge.
Yeah, and getting bigger in Japan.
But the worker is getting down, younger.
Right now in Japan, about 25% of the population is over 60?
Yeah. So we have to find out more effective solutions.
How was it working with these companies? Because I'm sure they're not used to working with beta products and untested products.
For D-Free, it's not difficult.
But for the nursing homes and for the hospitals?
No. It's easy for us. Our waiting list is more than 100,000 people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Are they mostly hospitals? Or are they mostly nursing homes?
In nursing homes.
Nursing homes.
At the first.
All right. It's been a year since the initial announcement. You've been able to collect a lot of data. What kind of accuracy does D-Free give?
We are developing now. We implement machine learning algorithms. The accuracy is getting better.
Okay. For example, as of today, can you say a number in terms of the accuracy to predict within the next 10 minutes, say?
So it depends on the people. The accuracy is not good for fatty guys.
Oh, right, because it's ultrasound.
Yeah.
So it makes the fatter you are, the harder it is to see.
That's right. So, we are collecting a lot of variety of people and getting better.
You're not ready to give a specific percentage accuracy or false positives just yet.
Yes.
Okay.
So far,
Fair enough. Do your future plans involve getting this certified as a medical device of some kind?
No, we don't want to be a medical device. It depends on market, of course, but now we don't want.
And is that just because of the licensing and regulations involved?
Yeah. It's too much for startup.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still officially in beta, right?
Yes.
So when are we going into full production here?
We start to provide from October.
October.
Yeah.
I got to say, congratulations on the new fundraising. You just raised about $5 million.
Yeah.
So I assume this is the capital you're going to use to go into full production.
That's right.
All right. So you've had to slip the release several times over the last year. What were the biggest challenges? What caused you to slip the release over the last year?
The most difficult is team building. Kuzuryu joined just this April.
Your CTO.
Yeah. He has a lot of experience to manufacture. We did not have such a kind of people in our team by this year.
The problem was just you couldn't get the right staff, or there were more and more technical problems than you thought at first. What kind of problems did you face that kept setting you back?
A lot.
That's a fair answer.
I can't say one word, but everything.
Okay.
Like money and products. Yeah, everything. It's difficult to get the right person because startup is still weak in Japan, especially hardware engineer want to work at a big company, Sony or Toshiba or like that.
So you're trying to pull out people that have a lot of experience in this, and you're trying to get them out of Sony or Toshiba or Hitachi.
Yeah, that's right.
In Japan, it's still hard to get people to come work for a startup.
That's right.
But you managed to do it now.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you. So actually the most successful, we can hire very good engineer from Toyota and Kuzuri as well.
You've worked with NIDO and other government programs. Were those programs worthwhile for you?
Yeah, that's nice because the nursing home is based on government system.
So the NIDO program was really your key in accessing the nursing homes?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
What kind of government programs do you think would be most useful to Japanese founders?
Yeah, this NIDO program is good for us because they give us a lot of money, almost $1 million. Oh,
all right. Well, that is helpful.
Yeah, very good.
Was it mainly just providing funds and some intros to nursing homes?
Yeah.
Did you get anything else out of the program?
They have connection with a big company as well, interesting in new business. We need government people introduce me to them. It's easy to give a proposal to collaboration.
Being part of the government NIDO program gives you a kind of legitimacy.
Yes.
It lets the bigger companies and the nursing home take you seriously.
Yes.
In Japan today, I'd say that's more important than the money.
Yes.
There's a lot of sources for money, but a lot of Japanese startups are struggling with legitimacy. They're struggling to get big companies to take them seriously and to do business with them. So that might be the most valuable thing you got out of that program.
Yes.
All right. What are your plans for going global?
Of course, we focus global market because we are getting a lot of inquiry to get from global, more than 20 countries. At the first, we focus on Europe market. One of the biggest nursing home company contacted me and they want to trial as well. Maybe in this year, we go to there.
To Europe. Fantastic.
Yeah, and then we asking FDA, this is medical device or not.
How big do you think the global market is for a device like D3?
Huge market. Just adult diaper market, it's $9 billion.
$9 billion? Really?
And then in 2020, that market gonna be $15 billion.
You mentioned trying to get FDA approval. Do you think you're going to run into problems with certification overseas, or do you think it will be much like it has been in Japan?
Actually, in Japan, I asked government. They told us it's not medical device, just consumer device.
Okay.
So we can sell as a consumer goods. Maybe in Europe, this is not medical device. It's not for like a cure or diagnosis. Not for medical.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the US, it's a very gray zone.
All right.
So we are asking some consultant for FDA now.
Let me back up and talk about just you for a minute, about startups in general. You've spent some time in California at Berkeley, working with startups in San Francisco, and working with startups here in Japan. What do you see as the biggest differences, both good and bad, between what's happening in Tokyo now and what's happening in San Francisco?
In Japan, this is a good point in Japan. The hiring cost for engineer is very affordable.
That's, yeah.
There.
Yeah, San Francisco's a little crazy now.
Yes. And this accommodation as well. There are a lot of electronic engineers in Japan.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's more than San Francisco.
I think you're right. And in fact, I think that this kind of Internet of Things is something that Japan is going to be very, very strong in the coming years.
Yes,
for
that
right. Exact reason. There's a whole generation of people who just love to tinker and play with electronics.
Yeah, that's right. In Japanese engineer is very detailed. So in total, the cost to product is lower than Silicon Valley.
Actually, that's a really good point. Hardware engineering, it's different than software engineering in that point. And Japanese engineers, both hardware and software, are, let's say, a bit more obsessive than American engineers about getting it exactly right. With hardware, though, that attention to detail, it's really important.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the reasons that IoT is going to be strong here.
Yes.
Excellent. You started this company in San Francisco and moved it to Tokyo. And there's recently been this trend of Japanese companies moving to Silicon Valley. Why did you come back to Japan? And why do you think so many Japanese companies are moving to California?
The reason I come back to Japan is Japanese VC wanted to invest to our company earlier than VC in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
So that's right.
So you just had more investor interest here.
Yes, that's right.
Do you plan on moving back to San Francisco, or is Tokyo going to be your world headquarters?
Tokyo is R&D center. And then we plan to go San Francisco again as a marketing headquarters.
Okay.
In all over the world.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, before we wrap up, I want to ask you what I call my magic wand question. If I gave you a magic wand and I said you could change anything about Japan, the education system, the way people think about risk, anything at all to make it better for startups here, what would you change?
We want to change the regulation. If I get the certification of an electronic device, like Bluetooth, we can sell all over the world.
Right.
Like that. That's one regulation for all over the world.
So Japan has a lot of unique special regulations?
Not so special, but we apply a lot of places, countries. Yeah, patent as well.
So what kind of regulations would you change? Do you mean change them, or it would be better if there were global standards that everyone followed?
Yes. One apply. Okay.
Yeah. So you would change, you'd take your magic wand and make it work on the whole world.
Yes, that's right.
And just say, well, it's a magic wand, so.
Yeah.
And just make it one regulatory system for everyone.
Yes.
Well, that would make life easier.
And one money, no yen, no dollars. Just one.
Just one.
And one. One language.
Well, we definitely need a magic wand for that, yeah.
One language is fine.
Hey, well, listen, thanks so much for sitting down with me.
So much.
It's really fun.
Thank you, too.
And we're back. Okay, Atsushi and the team are hardcore. From now on, anytime a founder starts complaining about how hard they are pushing themselves to get their product launched, or how much they've had to sacrifice and how they have no work-life balance, I'm simply going to say, well, let me tell you about what some friends of mine had to do with a sausage in order to alpha test their product. In all seriousness, I think D-Free represents the most important kind of Internet of Things innovation, and one that is often overlooked in San Francisco because of its focus on flash and change-the-world ideas. Devices like D-Free, coupling inexpensive sensors with the significant processing power of the mobile phone and backed up with some cloud cycles when needed, to solve clear, definable, real-world problems. The Internet of Things does not have to be about massive sensor arrays or extensive social media involvement. The best IoT devices will be the ones that make our lives better, without the intrusion of social networks or viral marketing. I mean, I'm fairly certain D-Free will never need to connect to your social media accounts, but it does bring a new meaning to the term push notification. It'll be interesting to see how D-Free does in production and what level of accuracy the team will be able to achieve in practice. In any event, they're a dedicated team with an innovative product, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from them very soon. If you've got an opinion, or more likely, questions about D-Free, Atsushi and I would love to hear from you. So come by disruptingjapan/show 050 and let's talk. When you drop by, you'll find all the links and sites that Atsushi and I talked about, and much, much more in the resources section of the post. And I know you've been meaning to do this for a while now, but when you get the chance, please leave us an honest review on iTunes. It's really the best way you can support the show and help us get the word out. And most of all, thanks for listening. And thank you for letting people interested in Japanese startups know about the show. I'm Tim Romero, and thanks for listening to Disrupting Japan.